Hello, my name is Tiffany Chang, and this is Conductor as CEO, where I take ideas from other industries and share how we can apply them as arts leaders. I imagine a world where leaders help people thrive, feeling more valued, seen, and fulfilled, while knowing that their work truly matters. Throughout my career, I found myself not feeling valued in the majority of my workplaces. For a long time, I thought there was something wrong with me. I was being ungrateful. I desired the impossible by wanting to feel valued. And I should just suck it up and get on with it. Here are 4 scenarios from my typical work experiences. In one of my first director of orchestras positions, I found myself not being included in conversations with the school leadership for important decisions that impacted the orchestra. I remember feeling like I didn't exist and that not my position nor my insights mattered. In another job, I was told that my orchestra was becoming too professional, and it didn't seem like a compliment. I felt completely unseen for the value I thought I was bringing. I was shocked that professionalism is not what was first and foremost desired. I realized then that the organization and I didn't share the same values for my work. I once had a supervisor who, over the course of several years, only contacted me when they needed something from me or when something was wrong. I learned that there's a term for this, an absent leader. So when I would hear from them, I'd cringe and feel fearful. I knew that there was an issue and that somehow they had been looming over me, perhaps waiting to catch me making a mistake. I never felt acknowledged, let alone appreciated, by this person's engagement with me ever. I actually felt used. And in a position I held for a number of years, I got into the habit of not expecting follow-through, since there had been too many times where things that were said in conversations never materialized. I was operating with such low trust in this organization's accountability, particularly as a mechanism for protecting myself from continued frustration and disappointment. In most of these jobs, I've always felt like my career goals didn't matter. I was needed to complete a job, and my own aspirations, desires, and interests were irrelevant. Practically speaking, there are also no real ways to advance, and I couldn't see a future for myself at these places. I wonder, do these stories sound familiar to you? Luckily, I've also had experiences where I did actually feel valued, and they were a huge breath of fresh air. I didn't even realize that it could be different until I encountered it. These experiences made me feel like I was not crazy in wanting to feel valued, recognized, and seen for my work. Here are some of those experiences and how they made me feel. At a recent opera gig, the artistic leadership were often in the room, yet I didn't feel like that they were watching over my shoulder. I felt their trust in me that I would do my best work, and they were there to see how they could help. I felt safe and empowered. I worked with a colleague where they did what they said they would do. As simple as that sounds, I felt like there's mutual respect, trust, and collaboration. I was able to be more fully focused on my work as opposed to wondering if something is going to actually happen. I also had a recent experience where I worked with people who actually wanted exactly what I wanted. We had natural and prolonged conversations, and I was able to accomplish so much more within that relationship. We cared about the same things. We shared the same values for the quality of work we produced. We also shared the same goals, mindsets, and interests. And these situations made me feel like I belong and that I am seen for who I truly am. And finally, even in a teaching job I feel kind of stuck in, I recognize how meaningful it was when my supervisor would tell me at least once every semester how impactful and important my work is for the department. I was literally told that I was an asset, and I felt appreciated regularly, and I noticed it. The funny thing is that all these instances actually resulted in my doing even better work than I thought I was even capable of myself. Reflecting on all this, I learned that feeling valued at work is truly one of the most important things we can both cultivate as employers and demand as employees. Of course, appropriate compensation is crucial in this conversation. Yet, that is often the only conversation. Daniel Pink said that the proper way to think about money when it comes to value and motivation is to get it right and then get it out of sight. Let's say get the money right is number one. Then here are 9 additional ways we can help a musician feel more valued beyond that. Number 1, communicate appreciation regularly for a musician's unique and individual work. When months go by and we don't hear words or see actions to signal appreciation for our work, we feel less valued. Number 2, demonstrate how a musician's work has an impact. When we don't know how our work applies to our customers or even other people around us, we feel less valued. Number 3, remind how a musician's work is connected to the mission of the organization. When it is clear that our work does not align with the organization's mission, we feel less valued. We can try harder to make something count, but it's never going to be enough because it's mismatched. Number 4, celebrate a musician for who they are to signal belonging. When we feel like we don't belong just by being ourselves, or when we have to work really hard to try to fit in, we feel less seen and valued. Number 5, honor a musician's values and show how they align with the organization's values. Just like with showing how a musician's work align with the mission of an organization, when our values are violated and disregarded, we feel less valued. Number 6, demonstrate through action that a musician's opinions and ideas matter. When we are not asked for our thoughts and opinions, we feel less valued. Amy Edmondson warns us against the detrimental culture of silence and just going along. She says that the assumption is that most people's voices do not have value and thus will not be valued. Number 7, trust a musician as much as possible and be trustworthy back. When we don't feel trusted to do the job we're here to do, we feel less valued. And when we don't trust our leaders, we also feel less valued. Number 8, acknowledge a musician is a person with interests and goals. When we don't get the sense that we are understood for our personal motivations and curiosities, we feel less valued. And finally, number 9, stay connected regularly with a musician. This sounds really simple, yet when we don't hear from leadership for long stretches of time, for any reason, we feel less valued and less seen. I hope these ideas resonate with you, and if they do, please consider signing up in the link below to receive an email with each new blog post sent directly to your inbox. Thank you and have a great day.